Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is George, and today I'll be taking you on how to set up a multi-authentication system using Laravel and Laravel Breeze. So at the end of the class for today, you should be able to set up a multi-authentication system and then configure your users table to be able to handle multiple users in terms of administrator, editor, normal user, and any other kind of user that you want to implement in your project. So we'll be setting up this application using the Laravel Breeze. Laravel Breeze is one of the packages that you can find in Laravel that is very helpful. So let's not take too much of our time. Let's dive into it. So here I have my Laravel documentation currently open. As you can see from the URL, we have laravel.com. So from here we'll get started. Yeah, as you can see, my Laravel documentation is open and I'm using Laravel version 10. So let's go straight to deploying our Laravel application. My first application now. We'll be using the composers to create our Laravel project files. So just copy this. I'll go to my folder here. Let's say my drive D. I'm going to create a new folder here. I'll call it Laravel Authentication. Laravel Auth. Okay. So inside my folder, this is where we'll be getting all our files, Laravel files for our project. Here I'm going to open the command prompt. Okay, here I'm going to open the command prompts in the terminal. Yeah, open up my terminal here and then I paste the code I copied from the documentation. So I want to call the name of our project to be Laravel Auth and press enter. As you can see, it's already downloading our files. It depends on the strength of your network, and it's going to download all the packages that we need for this tutorial. So here I'm going to pause the video for a while to give room for all the files to be downloaded into our project, and then when that is done, we'll continue from. Okay, so as you can see, Laravel application has successfully downloaded all the files that needed for this Laravel project we want to build multi-authentication system. Here you can see we acquired Laravel 10.2.6 files. So okay, let's go straight into. We'll dive into our project using the terminal here. cd Laravel Auth. Yes, as you can see. So here we want to set up our application, and to do that we have to use PHP artisan serve. So we want to serve our application. As you can see, our project is up and running and can be accessed through this localhost link. Okay, create a new tab here, and then we have that running. Now have a Laravel application currently running, but you can notice that we don't have any kind of authentication system. There's no login, there's no registration system currently in our application. So the next step is to add an authentication system in our project, and to do that we will go back to our documentation. Here in our documentation we will go to packages. Yes, packages, here it is. And these are all the different kinds of packages that there are in Laravel for different purposes. Here we'll be using Laravel Breeze. So when we open up our Laravel Breeze, you can read all about Laravel Breeze here and all it does. It's a pretty interesting system. So here we want to install the Laravel Breeze in our application. Now we copy this code here. We'll be installing this package using the composer. So we go back to our application, application where the files are, and then okay, Laravel Auth. Yeah. So here we'll open up the terminal again and install this package here. So I require the Laravel Breeze now. So it's going to download all the files needed for Laravel Breeze to function in our application. This shouldn't take much of our time. It's a pretty fast process. Yeah, as you can see, our files have completely downloaded, and we now have Laravel Breeze 1.23 currently in our project. So we'll go back to our documentation. Here in our documentation, we will require we will now install the Laravel Breeze that we just downloaded. Okay, so I'll copy that and then move over to yes, and then paste it again. It's going to install all the packages. So here is asking us which Breeze stack would you like to install. Here in Laravel we'll be using Blade, so my answer will be Blade. And then it's asking you, would you like a dark mode support? No, I don't want dark mode support. And which testing framework would you prefer? We'll go with PHP unit. That's 0. And then it will now download all the dependencies that we need to. Okay, here you can see that all our Laravel Breeze files have been successfully installed and scaffolded. We now have all the new routes and new admin profile pages all set up just by using the Laravel Breeze that we just installed. So if we go back to application now and where we have our server currently running and refresh, by the time we refresh, you see we now have a login and registration system. You see, if you click on login now, you see you have the login and you have the registration. So now we don't have a database yet. We have not done a migration, so we'll be going to create a database. Let me create a new database. I'll be calling this the database Auth system. It's a pretty weird name. Yeah, Auth system. So we have created a database. So we'll go back to our project. Okay, we'll open our project using one of the text editor. In this case, I'll be using a Visual Studio Code. So drive D, Laravel Auth. Good. Yes, we have a Laravel folder here. So I'll bring it in. So you see here we have these are our project files, and if you go to routes, you can see that it has created some routes for us already. Laravel Breeze has done all of this. So here I'll be changing the name of our database. Currently we have Laravel here, but I was changing it to Auth system, and that's all for this. So the next thing we'll be doing is to let me take care of our migrations first. So we'll go to database migrations, and then we have the users table. So in this place we want to add few things to few fields to our users table. We'll be having, yes, we'll be having role. We want roles, on the defaults. We want the defaults value. Default should be 0. We'll save this up. Name. Okay, we can add a phone number. We can add a phone number. So we can just say phone. You can add any kind of field that you want. Nullable. Let's make it nullable. And yeah, I think that's pretty set. So once that is done, we'll be fixing up our migration. You have that save. So I'm opening up my terminal here. If you don't know how to do this, you can, it's the control and command brings up the terminal in Visual Studio Code. Though if you don't know how to do that, you can use terminal, create new terminal, and there you have it. So here we'll be running our migrations, PHP artisan migrate. Now you can see our migration has run successfully. If you go to our database and click on our database, you see we now have our migrations and our tables. Currently we have the users table. Okay, now that we have our users table taken care of, let us go back and create new users in our applications. But before I do that, let me add the phone number to our users model. Let's remove this terminal. Yes. So here we have just after email we have phone. Yes, that's okay. Save all. Okay, now that is taken care of. Let us go back to application and create some users. We have our application running here. Okay, we already have the users in. So I'm going to call this one admin. I'm going to name it admin at gmail.com. Password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, we register that. As you can see, we registered our admin user successfully, and if you go into my database, you can see it's there. We now have an admin with the default row of 0. We need to log out and create another user. Let's call this editor. So have editor at gmail.com. Yeah, editor at gmail.com. Password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Beautiful. We have no thanks. We have our editor created, accounts created successfully and logged in. We'll now log out again and create another one. We'll call this user. So here user at gmail.com. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Beautiful. We now have our users accounts created. As you can see, the next tutorials we'll be doing to creating different dashboards for different kind of users. Once you're logged in as an administrator, you should be redirected to a different dashboard. And if you're logged into as an editor and a user, you should all be redirected to a different dashboard. This is the multiple authentication system we're talking about. Okay, now that we have done this, we can see that all our users have been created in our database. So here we'll edit our user role for administrator to be 1. Save that, and then our user role for editor should be 2. So let's go back to our Visual Studio Code and open the apps. Under apps, close this up. Under apps, you can see we have providers. So route service providers, this is where we'll be doing the rest of the work. So I'm changing this database redirection to dashboard to redirect. Save that. So now that we have taken care of that, we need to go back to our route system and create this redirect. Before then, I would like to make a new controller, PHP artisan make controller. I'm going to call it the home controller. Yes, the home controller, and that's where we're going to be writing all the logic for redirecting from our application. So meanwhile, I'll go back to the route. Okay, let's close this now. So we create our route here now. Route get. Okay, so we have slash redirect. Okay, now that we have that taken care of, we're going to be using the home controller. So we call it index. Beautiful. Now that we have that taken care of, okay, let us reference the path to our controller here. App http controllers, and then we have our home controller. That's okay. Save changes. Okay, now we'll go to our home controller and then do the logic for home controller. Okay, we'll be using auth, so we'll have to reference auth here. So here we'll click the function public function index. Yes, so we'll make a variable role. We're going to call it auth user, accessing the user and the role. So this is, by the time you die dump this role, and let's attempt to log in. Let's save changes and attempt to log in. Save all. If we attempt to log in now, okay, let's now open our application. and try to log in as admin. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Now you see we now have our row showing at 1, and if you go back to our database, we have row 1 to be administrator. Okay, that's taken care of. Let us go back and complete our logic. Remove this die dump, and we now have, let's do an if statement here. So we're saying if this row is equal to 1, that means put some comment here, admin login, admin dashboard. So we'll now say let us return a view here, and the view is going to be our admin folder that we haven't created and the dashboard. Good. And else if our login, it's our row is equals to 2, which is that of an editor, then we're going to return view. This time around it's going to be for our editor, so I'm going to say editor dashboard. Okay, else if it's not any of the two above, then we're going to just return the user, normal user, return view, and we're going to have a normal user, which is dashboard. Okay, I think I should create a user dot dashboard. So that taken care of. Let's go back and create our folders here in the view, resources view. So here I'm going to make 3 folders. The first one is admin, the second one is editor, and the third one is that of a user. Okay, so this been done. Inside the admin folder, I'm going to make another file called dashboard dot blade dot php. Inside the editor, I'm going to make another file called dashboard dot blade dot php, and then the user, we already have the user's dashboard, so I think we should just remove this folder and remove the folder, and I think we should just remove this folder and reference our here with the dashboard that we currently have. So in our admin dashboard view, we're going to do some basic HTML here. HTML. So here I'm going to call it admin dashboard, and then put h1 tag here. I'm going to call it admin dashboard. So I'll copy all of this and paste in the editor dashboard. Here it's editor. Yes, that's taken care of. So we'll save all the changes, save all. I remember we had currently logged in at 1. By the time I refresh, it now has a admin dashboard. Okay, let's go back. destroy the session from here. Done. Reload. Yeah, so when you log in now as editor, it's gonna bring you to 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Login. You see we now have the editor dashboard, and then of course if you log in as a normal user, we'll have let's say user 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Now you're logged in as the normal user. So you see in the next video what we're going to do is going to be adding our HTML templates for different administrators, for the editor, for the user, and then for the admin dashboards, to create different templates for them. Thank you. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos.